Chapter 3. Being part of a team. The keys to a successful team attitude. The attitude you as an individual bring to working in the team will affect both the way the team functions and the value of your experience. You must have a positive attitude about every member in your team. It is often said that the secret of a successful marriage is to work on it every day. The same is true of a successful team. Although we leave the analysis of human behavior to other disciplines such as psychology and psychiatry, lawyers are keen observers. An immediate observation we can make is that no two people are the same. We will all have had different experiences in life, which will lead us to think differently and deal with problems in different ways. Working as part of a team requires you to respect the differences that exist between team members. It can be a difficult and challenging task, particularly when you are teamed with someone you find very annoying. However, it is a skill that will hold you in very good stead throughout your professional career. There is no doubt that your attitude towards your teammates will be tested often. Someone will do something, or probably more often not do something, that is a cause of great frustration and annoyance to you. It is during those times that you have to work the hardest on the team relationship. Identify strengths and weaknesses in the team. The best way to maintain a positive attitude towards everyone in your team is to identify and focus on their respective strengths. It stands to reason that different people will have different strengths and weaknesses. If as a team you are able to work together and complement each member's strengths, collectively you will make a formidable combination. The process of identifying and discussing the strengths and weaknesses within the team can be a personally challenging one. It will force you to be very honest with yourself about your own abilities. Sometimes it will be relatively easy to see what each team member brings, particularly where the team members have been specifically chosen by a coach. On other occasions, it may not be so easy. In all teams, no matter how they have been composed, every team member brings something positive and beneficial to the team. It is very important that you remember this throughout the entire period of the moot. In general, there are three sorts of occasions where the recognition of strengths is particularly necessary. The first is during your initial team meeting when you are deciding how to allocate tasks. The second two occasions are more personal, when you begin to question your own involvement, and when you are frustrated by your colleagues. Dealing with a crisis of confidence. It is almost inevitable that during any intense and demanding task, you will begin to question your own value and abilities. During these times, it is very easy for your judgment to become clouded by what you perceive, probably incorrectly, as overwhelming weaknesses. For example, if you are struggling to understand a particular point that the rest of the team appeared to comprehend instantaneously, you might begin to feel intellectually inadequate. Alternatively, after a series of less than perfect moot performances, you may decide that you will never make a good advocate. In these situations, your attitude is key. Just because you are not the intellectual genius of the team, or you may not be as good an advocate as some of the others, does not mean that your contribution to the team is any less important. If the other members of your team cannot explain a particular point to you, then they need to work on how to explain it better. Remember that advocacy is about presenting a convincing argument. If the argument cannot be understood, it most certainly cannot be genuinely convincing. The perfect argument will be one that is understood by everyone. The exercise your teammates go through, helping you to understand the point, will serve everyone well for when the argument is presented in a moot. It will identify how the argument should be built, and what aspects must be conveyed so that everyone can appreciate the point. If you do find yourself in the middle of a minor crisis of this kind, do not get overwhelmed by it. Focus on the positives that you do bring to the team. Do something that you have no doubt you are really good at. In time, your confidence will return. It is just a matter of patience and practice. Remember that contributions to the team are not limited to adding to arguments or mooting well. Helping the team to function effectively as a team can at times have a greater impact on success or failure. You might be particularly good at understanding the particular dynamic of your team. If so, then you may be able to quietly and subtly work on certain teammates to avoid a confrontation between them. Alternatively, you may be able to provide a little extra support to a team member who is suffering from a temporary bout of self-doubt. Yet another possibility is that you may use your natural assertiveness to ensure that those who are less assertive are still heard by the rest of the team. There really is no end to the types of positive contributions that you can make. Maintaining trust. A team is built on trust. Anytime you believe a team member has let you or the team down, a little bit of trust is lost. Focusing on the positive attributes of team members helps restore that trust, and conversely, forgetting their positives can widen the rift. During periods of tension within the team, and there are likely to be many, it is important to think carefully before you speak. Rash words said in anger or frustration can cause considerable damage. Accusations that someone has let the team down are rarely, if ever, going to be beneficial to the team as a whole. Think about your objective. In a team environment, this should always be for the team to function as effectively as it can to achieve the team goals. Think about the person you are talking to. How will the person react to what you are going to say? Do not assume that because you would not be hurt by a sarcastic comment, your teammate would not be hurt. Remember, you are different people. Consideration of your audience is a very important part of advocacy. It applies equally to moot masters as it does to teammates. Indeed, you will probably find that as you progress through the preparation of your case, the general manner in which you argue within the team and in your life generally will begin to change. Do you need to be friends? How people come to be part of a moot team will vary enormously. Sometimes it will be a group of friends who have heard of the moot and convinced their law school to participate. On other occasions, the law school will have an established mooting program. In this situation, it is quite possible that you will not know everyone in the team before you begin working together. Alternatively, you may know your team members, but not like some of them. In any of these situations, your feelings towards your teammates are likely to change over the period of the moot. Friendships can be made and existing relationships may sour. The key to dealing with these trials and tribulations is to remain professional. The experience of the teamwork involved in international moot competitions is one that will hold you in good stead when you join the profession and will make you more attractive to potential employers. In the typical group activities at university, it is very easy to avoid developing your teamwork skills. Students will often choose the group they work in and inevitably choose their friends. The lack of time and intensity required by these standard tasks mean that there is very little stress placed on friendships within a group. In other cases, if students have been allocated to a group, tasks are often divided in such a way that people are effectively working individually rather than as a team. For example, the group may be required to complete a series of small tasks, and each member completes one task. This may be an equitable distribution of the workload, but it defeats the purpose of the team activity. A moot problem that requires attention over a sustained period of time does not allow you to avoid team issues. It operates in much the same way as if you were working on a problem in a law firm. Very few people have the luxury of working with friends at first. Over time, we may become friendly with our work colleagues, but at the beginning they are an unknown quantity, just as we are to them. One of the questions potential employers often ask about applicants is how this person will fit into our workplace. You will be able to draw upon your moot competition experience to demonstrate you are familiar with working in a team. You will probably also be able to say that during the process you managed to make very good friendships with your teammates